The International Society of Substance Use Professionals have tasked Nigerian universities to integrate addiction-related programs in their coursework to help strengthen the war against the use of illicit drugs and addiction. This was as the society held its 5th conference in Abuja. They say providing this service would go a long way in discouraging students from indulging in any form of substance abuse.
Nigeria as it is today is in crisis of drug and substance abuse. And our university system or higher institutions of learning cannot fold its arms and watching this crisis. So there is the need for higher institutions of learning to join other stakeholders in developing addiction programs towards building the workforce. Because we need workforce with adequate knowledge and skills in evidence-based prevention, treatment, and of course, supporting research activities. More so, the higher institutions of learning need to support the government institutions established to address the issue of drug control. More so that drug control is a responsibility of everyone, even though we have agencies of government, even non-governmental organizations, but everyone has a role. But today, we are sending a very strong message that the higher institutions of learning should come on board towards supporting these institutions to address the crisis of drug and substance abuse in Nigeria. Those on the streets that we are referring to, people need to intervene, and those who need to intervene are the workforce. And how do they intervene? By providing prevention interventions. And if they are not knowledgeable about evidence-based prevention interventions, they won't even know how to address the issues. It doesn't really matter whether those who use substances or some of those who use substances are educated or not. What matters is who are those providing interventions. And you will agree with me that if you have qualified personnel providing interventions, they also speak local languages. So they come from communities. And if we have this workforce, they can speak the language to those who are using the substances. And the languages or whatever they're going to speak to them should be evidence inclined. We have had situations where people, in the name of providing prevention interventions, they complicate issues. But if you have people who are well knowledgeable about addressing drug issues, their interventions will be evidence-based and it will be more effective.
We must furthermore constantly update our curriculum to align with the evolving landscape of substance use, incorporating the latest research findings and evidence-based practices. Therefore, we must create spaces that will encourage the students to explore, question, and innovate ideas, methods, and techniques. Overcoming these challenges require collective efforts, collaboration and partnership with educational institutions, practitioners, policymakers, and the community at large. The government of Nigeria has been deeply concerned about the magnitude and the rising trend in the demand for drugs and recognizing the links between the use of drugs and organized criminal activities like murder, rape, armed robbery, kidnapping, banditry, terrorism, etc. Let us embrace this opportunity to sow the seeds of knowledge, compassion, and progress for a future where substance use disorders are met with empathy, where prevention and treatment are rooted in evidence, and where every individual has the chance to lead a fulfilling life free from the shackles of addiction. Let us write a new chapter in the story of substance use practitioners, a chapter defined by education, knowledge, enlightenment, and enduring change.
Given where we are, that's already an alarming statistics. And when you say 14.4%, that is the whole country. But when you look at it by state, it also differs. So we find, for instance, in Lagos, it's 33%. In Oyo State, it's 23.6%. In Gombe State, it's 22.6%. So it varies from state to state. But whichever state you look at is still higher than the world average, meaning that we have a problem on our hands that we need to address.